So let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Ann, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Well, Happy New Year's, everyone. Welcome to tonight's business meeting of the Roseburg Directors for Roseburg School Board. Welcome to those who are also online. Couple of housekeeping rules. Tonight's meeting is being recorded, and sometime tomorrow, it will be archived on our website. So that's a service we are glad that we can provide. If there's anyone from the news media that's here tonight, we would appreciate that you would introduce yourself and the organization that you are with. Anybody online? Okay, we would ask that if you have a cell phone that you would take the time to silence those now, please. We will also have public participation, and we'll have that after the Golden Apple or the Crystal Apple Awards, and Director Johnson will remind you about that. As you came in, there's cards that you will need to fill out, and just kind of a reminder, you'll be given 2 minutes if you're going to speak to the board. So kind of formulate what you want to say. 2 minutes goes by pretty fast, and we'd like to stick to that. I think that's, yeah. And then at 4:45 today, we took a tour of Sunny Slope, and we always enjoy the tours, and we wanted to thank the central office staff and especially the Sunny Slope staff for preparing us for this meeting tonight. Principal Endicott did a great job on the tour. We appreciate that. And at this time, I would like to ask Dan to come forward and give us his report on his fantastic school.
2024. Am I there now? Oh, wow. Okay. Just what I need is a mic. I'm not sure about that. So anyway, welcome to 2024. It is just a privilege for me to represent this school, this staff, this community, and these students tonight for Sunny Slope. So we can go to the next one. So I want to say welcome back, because I know some of you guys have been here before, right? It isn't just a welcome, it's a welcome back. But when we have PD, when we're trying to learn new things here, we have 3 signature practices that we always do. And it's part of our framework, actually. It's part of our Castle framework. So it's a warm welcome, some engaging strategies, and then we have an optimistic closure. Like, I know you've got it, right? So I would like to start, next slide, with our warm welcome. 350 days till Christmas. Is it too early? What do you think? Are we ready to have a Christmas list already? I think we could do it. I'm not sure. But normally we'd have conversation about that. People would talk about it. In the sake of time, we're going to move through that. But one, it allows us to build community with our staff, community with what we're doing. And what I wanted to do was build community with you guys. You can go to the next staff. So we always have a learning target, right? What are we trying to get to know, right? So my learning target today would be for you guys as a board to better understand Sunny Slope through a tour, time, presentation, and takeaways. So in that, when we have the learning target, we want to be thoughtful with our time, right? We don't have a lot of PD time. So we have standards that we want to work to with an identifiable outcome. And we want to assess that audience, whether it's our students, our school board, or our staff, when we have that, to know if we were successful. Next slide. So first, I want to also start with celebrations. So this year, we have done a lot. I'm going to tell you, these guys have worked extremely hard. We've had a fun run that made over $4,000. You guys got to see the tables out there. We were able to purchase 5 of those. We were at the Legion Field, and we had reading under the light. So we invited the community and our family under, and we looked at books, and we read with the UCC baseball team and RHS cheer. And we turned that after an event to a reading program for several months where we were reading for the win. We went through a football phase, a basketball phase and such. We've got a makerspace cart right there. So we applied for a grant and we're able to do that. Some things that we've done really have given access to what some of our students don't normally get. We've been to the pumpkin patch, right? We've had an author visit. Actually, his books are right there. So we had a published author come talk to our students about the writing process, about what that looks like. We had one of our teachers get bit by the Douglas County Sheriff's Office training dog. That was really fun, right? She did have full pads and nobody was injured, whether the teacher or the animal. We had a trunk or treat that if you would have seen it, I got pictures from our roof where our parking lot was full and we were able to help families with having some treats. We had a fun run, first grade Thanksgiving play. We've been to wildlife safari. We had the Ned show here and come tell us about some great ways to have positivity in our school climate. We had a holiday concert and we've had multiple skate nights, but we're not done, right? We have lots of things still coming. We have a school bus redo where you know, after the beginning of the year, we have a school bus school. Then after Christmas break and stuff, we have a second one. They're coming again. We're going to have a book fair with engagement. We're bringing some things back like donuts with dad, muffin with mom. We're not sure granola with Gramps. We're not sure what that's going to look like, but we'll have something that'll be cool. We've got testing, winter and spring assessments. We've got a STEAM night, a 5th grade play, a forestry tour, a 4th grade science fair, 3rd grade Eastwood Nature Days, and a 5th grade outdoor trip. This will be the first year that Sunny Slope has participated that I'm aware of, where we're sending kids to a camp for 2 overnight days, 3 days all together. And that's going to be an experience that our students just haven't had. So we're trying to raise that access and let them know. Part of what school is I'm not sure if any one of you guys remember your 4th grade math lesson. Remember, anybody raise that up? Remember that great lesson? Hopefully you can remember your teacher, right? But you do remember the sports trips. You remember the plays. You remember the hallway. You remember the bus ride. You remember sports. So we're trying to build those things where students have a memory for that. Next page. Just some pictures I thought for your slideshow, the different things we've done. Honestly, I could have 100 slides of pictures, right? But I just wanted to show our community smiling. You guys have a celebration. Next slide too, right? Thank you, school board members. I think there's 3 staff members in RSD that have served, you know, on the board. I know what it takes, right? Myself, Steve Patterson, Denny Austin, we've sat in those seats and made those decisions and worked through solutions just as you're doing. And we want to thank you for that. That's a great privilege for you guys to be here with us and for us to acknowledge the work you do. Thank you. Next slide. We have our own celebrations, right? So every month we have a monthly celebration. You guys are invited, by the way. It's Thursday, January 18th at 2:45. If you put that in your calendar. I showed you guys some of the awards we have, but we recognize individual students per classroom. So we get to talk to them. We have a message about shine right here at Sunny Slope. We're the Suns and we shine. What shining means is we're safe, we're helpful, we're involved, we're nice, and we're empathetic. So we shine here at the Slope. And we have a message about what that means. We pick one of those characteristics and talk about it. You know, those awards were printed by our own 3D printer, or 3 of them were. So we really get a chance to recognize our students, their success, and make sure that we are inviting community into those also. Next slide. I like this one, and you know, I know you guys have seen this everywhere. We want our students to be happy and proud, but the cool thing that I thought of was our district has a walkthrough of graduates every year, right? And so when RHS has graduation, those kids get to come back to their home elementary school. I'm telling you, we want those kids to have connection. We want them to have care. We want them to enjoy their time and go, man, I'm excited to go back to Sunny Slope. We pulled the stage out for them last year. They got to walk across the stage. We had a practice round for them, right? So that they would be able to look back with fond memories and celebrate what they did here in our school, and that they are happy and proud. I threw this one in here because this is part of our curriculum. This is part of our TDG math program and the rights of a learner. The school's changed a little bit, and you don't always have to be right. You don't always have to be the one to raise your hand. You don't always have to be the one to speak and have the presentation. And we want you to know that you can be confused. It's okay. You can make mistakes, right? You can say what makes sense to you. You can share things that might be wrong or things that might be right. And we're going to create a learning. What this does is it allows students to have access and find their voice. This deepens our classroom conversations and increases in our rigor and really provides a diverse thought to what we do here in our classrooms and at Sunny Slope. So I thought that was important for you guys to see. That's part of our process. You guys have said it. We've got banners. We've got the poster. The first thing is our strategic plan, right? That leads the way and allows reflective practice of our time and energy. And it really helps you guys coordinate our resources, right? The Castle framework, the one on the bottom, that's our SEL curriculum. What that really does is that provides like these 3 signature practices I'm doing, the warm welcome, the engaging strategies, and the optimistic closer. But it really lets kids become students, right? They gets them ready when whatever they're dealing with at home, they can come in and be centered and be ready to be students. And then the 5D framework, that's our instructional practice, right? That guides our instruction, how we making things work for assessment and our curriculum and our classroom routines. So when we move from that, we can go to the next slide. We were tasked with making goals. I was able to make the first set of goals. It was in August before my staff turned out, and my staff came back and we were able to get year 2 and 3 on there. It was a collaborative process. And I'm going to tell you, my heart almost exploded when I got the feedback that they were as anxious to make the gains as I was. And they rooted for great gains. We didn't go 3%, right? We didn't go 5%. If you look at our first goal, it's for our English language arts. We want to go from 30 to 39. So we over 39. We want to raise our language arts 10%. On math, we had actually gained 6% the year before. And then we want to gain another 7 this year, right? So we're trying to, or 6% again this year. So we want to raise that and have those high standards. But I will tell you, it can't happen if kids aren't in school. So we focused on attendance. And so we went from 61% to over 70%. So this was done in the collaborative process. And I will tell you, these guys just did a great job of trying to set the bar high for our students so that we had great achievement. Next slide. I can give you a little bit. Sadly, I don't have the winter benchmarks in, but our attendance was at 61%. Right now, as of today, we're sitting at 72. So we're accomplishing our goal, and we're doing these things with the awards, with recognizing students, with having different activities for them to go to so that they want to be here in school, and we can endure and keep going. And once we can increase that attendance, then we can focus on our language arts and we can focus on our math. But I'll be happy to update you when those scores come in. I think next week starts most of our benchmark testing. So we're really proud of that and really looking for success. Thought I'd turn to our school report card next. I think every school has presented these. I got the yellow arrow there. These are really the same numbers and stuff. What I really wanted you guys to focus and see is our population's 25% are identified as special education students. And this is just a piece of our picture, and it helps us understand how we might do things and support our kids, right? It's not saying, oh, well, we can't. That means we're still striving for 10%. We still want our attendance to be good, right? But what it looks like, the district office did a great job of supporting us. Melissa and Lisa have bent over backwards, providing a second LRC for us for our kids, right? We have adapted spaces so that we can have the best learning possible. And we wouldn't do that without them. So we understand where we are, we recognize what we have, and we're excited to make progress with them. So I just wanted to share that part. And another thing, next page of right, you have 2 arrows. You have a yellow one and you have a red one. Both of those indicate growth. If you go back and look at our past report cards, they indicate growth with teacher retention, which is yellow, and teacher experience, which is red. So we moved up to 85% and 78%. But imagine this, I'm in the 4th year here. I have 3 classroom teachers that are in the same classroom in the same grade level since when I first started. We have had that much turnover, that much change, and now we're on a meteoric rise where people are coming to Sunny Slope. They want to be here. They are passionate about what we're doing, and so when you have those kind of things happen, it's great to recognize that and to say, let's go, right? And I'm telling you, we have a staff right now that is, I can't coin Tom Brady's thing, but let's go, right? So I'm very excited about that. So I wanted to point that out that, even with that, we're still moving forward. Next slide. I put all the names down there of everybody who helps us out every day. And really just as a signature to say, these guys are important. We have over 50 people in our building every day helping kids. And I put that arrow there because when I say central office, Sadly, the typeset didn't allow me to type in maintenance and food service, the business and student services, HR, teaching and learning, the administrators, plus all the directors and administrators that help us daily run a very successful school. So I just wanted to have that person, those are people, right? Those are people that help us every day and help our students do the best that they can. So I think it's great to recognize that. Next slide. I thought I'd put in there, everything is devoted towards our goals of raising ELA, of raising math, of raising an attendance. These are just some of the committees we have that we work on. We're working on English language arts and math. We're working on our 5D framework. We're working on science adoption. We're working on technology with 3D printers and stuff. We're working on tag identification. We've got ERLA for our new curriculum. PBIS to make sure students are there with the CASTLE framework and they're ready, kids are ready to be students. Safety is always a big issue, right? And we have after school clubs. This, if you would have been here yesterday, we have 2 groups of robotics going on. We have a more entry level primary kids, and then we have a higher intermediate. We've had PE, we have music, lots of different activities for our kids to have opportunities after school that they normally wouldn't have, right? So next page. We do focus on instruction. That's what we're here for. We have a yearly focus of purpose. So that means we're setting our learning targets. We're putting it in student-friendly language and that students know what we're trying to do. Just like I had a learning target with you guys today, our teachers do that with our students. And that is all year long. Next one. Then we have monthly focus. So we got together, this was in collaboration with our staff, that we're going to look at when we start the year, classroom culture and routines. How are we doing things? How are students even getting new pencils, right, when they need it? And every month we select something and we go through that. Staff, we're now doing peer observations. We're in everybody else's classroom saying, hey, I can steal that idea. Hey, that was great. Oh, how do we get things together so we run more systematically as a K-5 enterprise? Right? So that we do the same things in kinder as first as third as fifth. So I'm pretty excited what we do and how every month we look at that when we go in classrooms, both myself and the teachers to look at improvement. Next slide. We've seen this. We want to move up. The goal is not to stand still. The goal is to take that step. It's part of our 5D framework that we're never going to be at the ideal state, but we know where we are. We have some wonderfully seasoned teachers. We have some new teachers that are gaining experience. And I will tell you, everyone works hard to get better. So I really want to appreciate the staff at that. Next slide. And then I just thought all things we're doing allow us to just move forward. So we reflect, connect, and climb a step. And next slide. And it's all done through our teacher learning. I know you've seen these things, but really it starts on the right. It starts with student learning. And then we can work backward from student learning. How do we get our teachers to practice better? How do we get teachers to practice better? Well, it's their learning. How are we focusing teacher learning? And then from that, how are we working as a leadership team to improve ourselves, to help our teachers learn and to help our teachers practice increase and to help our student outcomes? So I thought that was good to throw in there. And we're coming to the end. Here we go. As the board, I always appreciated looking at Douglas County and seeing the different school districts right there. And my point was to say, okay, well, here's Roseburg. Well, I can't leave that. But the second picture is the Roseburg School District into Douglas County. And that little yellow arrow, that's Sunny Slope's boundaries, right? That is providing you the knowledge about our little corner of this district in the whole county setting. And now here we go. Are you ready? Check in. I'm going to go back to my learning target, right? The learning target was to better understand Sunny Slope through tour time, presentation, and takeaways. Give me a thumbs up if you feel you know Sunny Slope a little better right now. There we go, right? I want to make sure that I have this exit ticket, right? I do the same thing in a PD with staff. So we just really appreciate that. The takeaway is really the gestalt, the putting all the pieces together of central office and the teachers here and the community and the students really allows us to find a defined picture of what Sunny Slope is and in part of the whole Roseburg School District community. And then lastly, thank you. And any questions? Did I make my 8 minutes, Jill? Sorry. Trying. I did speak quickly.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to you and your staff. This building amazes me. I think it actually opened the full school, I think in 78, 79, somewhere around there. If you walk through this building, it is in amazing shape. Cosmetically, you know,
Oh, our staff's done a wonderful job.
and I thank you for that and previous folks that were out
Sure.
here. The colors might grate on some folks, but I think it's perfect for an elementary
works.
school. I think it's great. Even the green carpet in the office is
Hey,
pretty cool.
my putting's gotten better.
So thank you. And we did we have the school board sign up there. Thank you for helping us, our students shine. We appreciate that.
Good.
So
Thank you.
thank you, Dan. At this time, a student. Is our student recognition, and I understand you're solo tonight, Hannah, so it's all yours.
Thank you guys for having me. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off our report with the school section. So this week, both band and choir will be sending students to Allstate tomorrow. Choir has 8 students attending, and band has three students attending. And so they leave tomorrow. And then along with UCC Theaters Department, the Roseburg Theater will be putting on their annual literacy play. And this year, the theme of it is Magic of Reading. And this is to get elementary school students excited about reading and drama. And it's a really cool play that they get to put on for them. And then the theater department is also planning their spring musical, where they have auditions January 31st and February 1st for the musical The Addams Family. The sports section, cheer has their first competition on Saturday in Sweet Home, Oregon, where there will be over 50 teams attending. And then yesterday, both the girls and boys basketball teams had games versus South Medford. And then if you guys are around January 17th, you guys can swing by the YMCA and come and support the RHS swim team. They have a home meet that day. And the wrestling team leaves tomorrow for a meet in Redmond. In regards to leadership, this week we have begun getting to know our 2 new advisors, Kristen Miller and Janelle Hubbard. Miss Danielson has made her transition into a new position over at UCC, and we're really excited to see the things that she gets done over there at the college, and we're looking forward to the rest of the year with our new advisors. And then previously, I've talked about in other meetings how we started club grants back up at RHS. And we previously awarded $3,000 to various clubs around the school. And we have started the second round of the applications, which are due this Friday. And we're super excited to get some more money out to the clubs that our students are really passionate about. And then last year, our class put on the first arts assembly back after COVID. And we have been really hard at work planning this year's production, and auditions are lined up the week after finals on Monday, the 29th, and we're expecting a great turnout. So that's really exciting. And yeah, at school right now, we're just gearing up for finals, and students around school are putting in the work for clubs and the programs that they're involved in. Thank you, guys.
Any directors, anybody have questions for Hannah? Okay, thank you. It is now time for one of our favorite times of our meetings is to recognize students. And tonight we have 4. And Director Hammerson has the honor of recognizing our students. And we would ask that when a student's name is called, that parents, everybody, family, everybody that came and staff from that particular school join up front, and then we're going to take a picture or 2, so don't leave until Chelsea has your picture taken. Okay, please. Okay, Steve, you're on.
I want to be gentle with the mic because they've been a little testy. Just wanted to side with Principal Endicott on the 350 days till Christmas. I've already gotten a couple Christmas gifts, and I'm an annual Christmas person as well, so had to out myself there. All right, so the first student recognition is Cameron Fry of Sunny Slope Elementary School. No problem.
Good job.
Yeah, I think the most room's over here, so if you guys want to stand over here. Well, I'm glad I directed the crowd. So, Cameron is an outstanding student who is always hardworking and responsible inside and outside of school. He cares about his fellow students and is a natural leader. Cameron follows the directions he is given to his absolute best and tries very hard to overcome frustrations. Cameron brings a smile and a positive attitude to school each day, along with tons of energy and enthusiasm. Teachers say that Cameron is kind and respectful and a wonderful role model. He has been an outstanding student for his entire career at Sunny Slope. He is always helpful with students and staff members and will be missed at Sunny Slope next year. Congratulations, Cameron. Feel like the longer I speak, this thing just keeps going down a little more. I could just be losing it. All right, so next student recognition is Emmeline Hurley. Emmeline is an outstanding Fremont student who excels in many areas. She's consistently models the work habits, integrity, and positivity that any teacher would want from a student. She often seeks out opportunities to challenge herself, and she embraces those challenges with grace. Emmeline is not only a superstar student, but she is also a kind, compassionate, and thoughtful leader. She treats others with kindness, warmth, and patience beyond her years. She is always looking for ways to make a positive impact on others, and she does it with a smile on her face. Emmeline goes above and beyond what is asked of her in all of her classes and serves as an excellent role model for her peers. Fremont Middle School is lucky to have her. Congratulations, Emmeline. All right, our next one is Jack Anderson of Joe Lane Middle School. A pioneer is a person who goes before others and opens the way for them to follow. Jack Anderson is this year's passionate Paramount pioneer. His authenticity, his insight, his earnestness, and innate kind spirit are a few of many highlighted traits that Jack's 7th grade team observes on the daily. Each class period, it has, sorry, frog in the throat. Each class period, it has been confirmed there is always a greeting and farewell from Mr. Anderson. He takes academic risks, constantly reflecting or seeking out clarification to summit each task. Jack is also pragmatic, something we generally see later in students' academic careers. However, he is attuned to his abilities. Jack leads with integrity, and students trust that they will have success when directed and encouraged by this young leader. Thank you for your leadership. You exemplify the definition of a Joseph Lane pioneer. Congratulations, Jack. There were some big words in that one. Somebody's got it out for me. Is it going down? I love this guy. All right. So our next up is Nicholas Combs of Roseburg High School. Nicholas is simply outstanding. His positive attitude, respect for others, and eagerness to seek help when needed are truly remarkable traits for any high school student. With a 4.0 GPA, Nicholas has consistently challenged himself by taking up honors, advanced placement, and college credit courses. More than half of his senior year schedule is packed with such advanced courses. Nicholas is also a member of the National Honor Society and serves his community through his volunteerism. Nicholas is not only intelligent, but he also has an insatiable thirst for knowledge, continually challenging himself to grow as an individual, develop premier leadership skills, and strive for career success in all his endeavors. Roseburg High is thrilled to have the opportunity to teach such a remarkable young man. Congratulations, Nicholas. And that's all the big words I got. So
Thank you, Director Emerson. You did a nice job. This time, Director Johnson will come forward and he gets the honor of presenting 4 Crystal Apple Award winners tonight.
Good afternoon. It is a magnificent honor for me to be allowed to share the Crystal Apple Award to 4 of our staff people this evening. As I call your name, I would be very honored if you would come and all of your support group to the area here. From Fremont Middle School, we have Tracy Guy. Piece of sidebar trivia before I share what I have been told about Tracy. We live on the same street in Roseburg. When I go walking, I see her. When she go walking, she sees me. It's a pleasure. Let me share with you and everyone here what I have been told about you. Tracy has the unique ability to connect with many students who feel lost in school. She has built a strong woodshop program that kids enjoy and feel proud of Tracy's class help. She helps students open minds to all possibilities of job opportunities using the skills she teaches and provides students with a healthy outlet and a hobby. Her woodshop curriculum allows students to work at their own pace, gradually building their skills. Once students have mastered their basic skills, they're able to move on to an advanced class where they can choose their own project and work on projects for our school. Tracy is also a strong supporter of other activities going on at Fremont. She is frequently at band and choir concerts and has championed the school cribbage club for several years. She advocates for students to do their best in every subject. Tracy builds strong connection with students and goes out of her way to help them succeed. Congratulations, Tracy. Your Crystal Apple Award says, helping students build projects and relationships one nail at a time. Thank you. Our next recipient is also from Fremont, Kelly Ludo, the office manager. So Fremont Middle School, Kelly Lucido, office manager. Kelly is so welcome and kind to everyone. Her colleagues say she is knowledgeable, versatile, and irreplaceable within the Fremont community. Kelly helps keep things all together, even on most chaotic mornings. She always makes sure things get done on time and is always willing to help anyone and everyone. She has a calm, cool as a cucumber exterior. If she does have any internal panic buttons, they're never written on her face. She brings the right vibe to school atmosphere, and her follow-through is commendable. Fremont is blessed to have Kelly at the helm of the ship Fremont, as she will always be alert to any icebergs ahead. Kelly is also kind to students and families. She is a great at problem solving, and her friendly, easygoing demeanor makes the office a welcome place to be. Congratulations, Kelly. And your Crystal Apple says, cool and collective while serving passionately and gracefully. The next honoree tonight is Olivia Purdy from the Learning Resource Center Assistant here at Sunny Slope. Allow me to share. Olivia is a go-getter who can go with the flow. She is an amazing worker and loves kids. She is always going above and beyond for the staff and kids and finds solutions to problems even when nobody asks her. Olivia cares about students' education, supports in any way she can, and has the patience to work with students based upon their needs. She has a positive staff member, always ready to jump in where needed, is never negative, and tries her best. She is also described as flexible and selfless. She makes Sunny Slope a little brighter by being here. Congratulations, Olivia. And your Crystal Apple says, fast learner, integrity, team player, loves kids, problem solver. Take a picture. The next award winner is also from Sunny Slope, so don't go away. Teresa Lindstrom, third grade teacher. Teresa is a third grade teacher here at Sunny Slope. Teresa goes above and beyond for her students. She is an excellent mentor, willing to share ideas and material. Teresa is described as a wonderful educator with a wealth of knowledge and skill and is willing to share with anyone needing help. She is a teacher who has had great results and deserves for her efforts and her great student growth to be recognized. She has been a mentor to several new teachers in the building and served to calm the eye of the storm. Teresa is retiring this year, and staff are grateful for her years of help, support, and talent. Congratulations, Teresa. And your Crystal Apple says mentor, knowledge, work ethic, dedicated, caring, and passionate. Congratulations. On behalf of the board and all of the staff that works within the district, we are extremely honored and pleased that you came out tonight to see these successful candidates and workers receive recognition. We're going to take a short intermission so that you may be allowed to leave. And remember, if you want to be a speaker, you need to fill out the speaker request card so we can gather it afterwards. So thank you so much for coming. God bless you. Be careful out there.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move into public participation. Remember, oh, hang on, we've got to get the cards. So we're going to go ahead and do public participation, and remember, it's 2 minutes, and then if anybody online wants to speak, Assistant Superintendent Nee will go over those directions. So it's all yours.
If anyone online would like to speak, please use the raise your hand function. And we have one comment card, and that's Mr. Gary Vincent. Come on up.
My name is Yuri Vincent. Address is 547 Northeast Winchester Street, Roseburg, Oregon, 97470. I'm actually just here this evening to give my board appreciation. It's Board Appreciation Month, I believe, this month. And last time I brought to your attention something that was very important to me. And Miss Jill was willing to take it upon herself, it seemed like, to be able to reach out to me and inform me of the situation that I thought we had. And so I'm very appreciative of Jill's professionalism and willingness to just get to the bottom of things and answer my questions. So I really, really appreciate you guys. I was gone for a couple of months and I actually didn't like it. So thank you for all the work that you do and for the evenings being here and all the evenings you guys must take to read everything and look at everything and look at all the past meetings and all the past videos. So I really, really appreciate all of you. And I know that I probably speak for the rest of the community. So thank you.
Close public participation, and thank you for your kind comments. Appreciate that. We're now going to move into action and discussion items. And oh, at the head, yes. I've got 4 packets here that I have to follow. We're gonna do review of agenda and communications to the board.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Cotton, appreciate that. It says it's on, but Matt says I'm on. Yeah, it does. You know what? I'll borrow Rod's. We're good here. All right, thank you. Appreciate that. I also want to echo Mr. Vincent's comments. Thank you. Happy Board Appreciation. Thank you for everything you do. I also want to just say how much I love the student and staff recognitions. We have great people in our organization. It was awesome to see, it's lovely to see community show up, whether that's the family community, the school community, and rally behind our folks. It's great to see. I want to acknowledge tonight too, Keith Kubik's here. Thank you, Keith. Keith is one of our former board members and one of our current budget committee members. I want to make sure we recognize Keith tonight. And I also want to thank the Sunny Slope staff for the great job in putting everything together tonight, all the student artwork, and that's really lovely. So appreciate that. We will have an executive session immediately following tonight's meeting, and there have been no changes on the agenda since its initial publication. Director.
Thank you so much. I'm assuming this one's working. Okay. We have the best technology in this district and the best tech guys sitting over there. Matt, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Now we will move into the consent agenda. And it's in pages 1 through 30 in your board packet. So I'll need a motion and a second if there's going to be discussion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda containing the 13 minutes.
Do we have a motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. That is done. We're now going to have a request for approval of early literacy grant application. And Assistant Superintendent Michelle Nee is going to bring us up to date on that.
All right. Thank you, Chair Cotton. All right, the purpose of our presentation is to share information about Roseburg School District's early literacy plan as part of the Early Literacy Success District Grant application. It's a mouthful. It's required by the Early Literacy Success Initiative legislation. So House Bill 3198 was passed in the previous most recent legislative session, and it allocated $90 million for the 23-25 biennium funded through the statewide education initiatives account for the Early Literacy Success Initiative. And each district in the state has the opportunity to apply for the non-competitive grant. So we're sharing with you what we are planning to do for our grant that was submitted, but we have to have your approval in order for it to move forward. We did work in conjunction with our elementary principals and the teaching and learning department as far as priorities for our grant. The early literacy plan allocations, this is for 23-25. We are already halfway through the 23-24 school year, but the funding will be retroactive back to October 1st. Our allocation for 23-24 is a little over 439,000. Our allocation for 24-25 is 457,000. The early learning program review, I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Weber.
So this is a K3 focus. I did turn it on, so I need it closer. There's a K3 focus, although it is, we can use the money K5, with most of it though going to K3. Part of the process was to look at what current programs or curriculum we use and to ensure that we are meeting what the state requires as well as meeting what we know about good reading practices. So our core reading curriculum is Wonders and it is a comprehensive program, but we do supplement it with some other programs, Haggerty, and then also independent reading level assessment, which gives some independent reading time. We have interventions, which are for students who may be not quite where we need them to be. We need to accelerate their learning to catch them up. And so we use programs such as BLAST, Phonics First, Phonics for Reading, WonderWorks, and some other intervention programs. I'd love to talk forever about curriculum, but I know we have other things to talk about. So we also use assessments, which later next month we'll be talking more deeply about assessments, but the assessments are important for us to make informed decisions. So we use DIBELS, ERLA, iReady, and in-program assessments, which come with the programs we use. So currently we do have correct programs that meet the needs of our learners.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Weber. There are specific components in this grant that we are required to have activities that fall under those categories. The first is professional development and coaching. So the grant proposal is we currently have one district literacy coach, and that's Miss Kristen Coopride in our district. So for the remainder of this year, we will continue with one. It's proposed for us to move to 2 district literacy coaches for 24-25. Summer Reading Academy for K-5 teachers. This will be an intense academy for literacy strategies for our teachers this summer and next summer. Phonics First training. So with Dr. Weber's slide, Phonics First is one of our interventions and it's a research aligned intervention. So we will be providing more continuous training. We have teachers who have already gone through Phonics First is a 30-hour training that teachers do for a week in June. And then we also will be having a refresher for teachers who've already completed it. And then there's a level 2, which is for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers. We're going to be doing a book study with our teachers focused on the science of reading. And then we will review the iReady and Dibbles data and adjust support for teachers accordingly in their professional learning, as well as we are going to be bringing in dyslexia training for our K-3 teachers. So the next component is high dosage tutoring. This is targeting K-5 students with reading and writing difficulties. This is actually tutoring that takes place during the school day. It's not an after-school activity. This is targeting K-5 students with reading and writing difficulties. The expectations of the grant are that this happens in addition to regular instruction, but it happens during the school day, addressing reading and writing. It's 3 days a week for 30 minutes during the school day. And then we use our data to inform and individualize the instruction for the students. And the focus is on instruction that is supplemental, and it's focused on acceleration for our students. We are required to use research-aligned curriculum. These are our core reading materials that Dr. Weber had shared with you previously, and our supplemental reading materials and our intervention and acceleration materials. We had to put all of this information into the grant to show that we were using research-aligned materials in our district. Did it skip over a slide? Seems like I'm missing one. Oh, it jumped right over extended learning. I apologize. I was trying to get to Director Cotton's 2-minute mark, but I've gone over a little bit. You can help. The other component is extended learning programs. And this is funding for summer reading extended learning, targeting K-4 students. It'll take place this summer and then the following summer as well. It'll have a focus on reading, writing, comprehension, vocabulary, and background knowledge. The duration will be 5 weeks, 4 days a week for 4 hours a day. And the instruction will be provided by our licensed teachers and highly qualified instructional assistants. We will also have professional learning and planning time provided to the staff prior to the start of the program. And we will also be providing the summer book backpacks for our K-5 students to take home. And that will have a training component for parents on literacy strategies to help support students at home over the summer with their reading. And skip, I did that one, showed you that one. We also have to have a communication plan in the grant application. And these are the communication strategies that we will be using and that we currently use as a district: surveys, focus groups, roundtable discussions, the website, social media, email, community group meetings, open house nights, school board meetings, and then annual reports on the integrated grants. This grant will be combined into the integrated grants program that I've shared with you previously. So in conjunction with SIA, High School Success, Perkins Grant, early intervention, and then now we have the early literacy. So that's combined and going to be combined going forward into one big application. This is just individual this year. We also have to utilize the student growth assessment, Dibbles and iReady. And districts are also required to provide 25% of the grant in matching funds. So these are our matching fund amounts that the district will have to provide, but you are able to utilize funds that you are currently using for professional learning, or that we have used to purchase curriculum materials for reading. So we'll be using the student investment account grant as well as Title 1A and Title 2A as matching funds. And they will be used for curriculum material purchases, extended learning, and professional development. And this just goes through the budget for 23-24 and what we are anticipating to spend on each of the areas, as well as the 24-25 school year with the budget. Are there any questions? Go ahead, Ed.
Greg, if I can just make a quick comment, I want to just publicly thank our elementary principals, our leadership team, central office team who put the grant together. Not only it certainly aligns with the grant, but I just want to let the board know it also has two focus areas that were not required in the grant. And that's a focus on home and strengthening literacy at home and also strengthening a love for reading. We can talk all we want about the science of reading, but we want kids also to have an experience where they love to read. And so I really appreciate the leadership on making sure that the plan also has intentionally a design that kids enjoy the process of reading and aren't just caught up in the science of reading as young children. And also the component at home is really valuable. So thank you for that.
So this is an action item.
I had a question on that.
Okay, let's have a motion and a second, then we'll move into comments. And I'll call on you first.
Motion to approve the early literacy grant application.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and
Just a question on the intensive summer school. That sounds like a big part. I mean, that will play a really significant part for 5 weeks intensive. But in the budget, it doesn't sound like it's taking as much, costing us as much. Are we
Well,
using other funds?
We'll also be using the matching funds to support the summer learning. So that 25% from that we have to add to it. So it's a little over $100,000 in matching funds. That'll be used as well to support the summer learning.
And then for funding for the teachers' salaries that are
That's
gonna
included in,
participate.
that's included in the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
any further questions? Okay, I'd like to call for the vote. All in favor? Aye, opposed, okay. Passes unanimously. Nice job, thank you. The next action item we have is the budget calendar, and Cheryl, it's all yours.
So they presented a fabulous grant opportunity, but I'm going to present you with the opportunity for more night meetings. So, yeah, thank you. Presented for your consideration in the board packet is a plan for the 2024 budget calendar for consideration for the 24-25 school year.
This is an action item, so we need a motion and a second. Then we
Motion
have-
to adopt the 2024 budget calendar.
I second the motion to adopt the calendar.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I have a question. Do we have a full budget other than the director committee?
We do not at this time.
How many openings do we have?
3.
3? Are we going to put on our website or some other media source any interested volunteer people who like to report?
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you.
All right, good question. 3 is a lot.
Of course, if we do get someone to apply from the budget committee and come back to the board to propose.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. That passes. Thank you. Our next report is a director's report from Dr. Jill Weber.
Thank you. Jared asked me just to share a little bit about some of the work that we've been doing in teaching and learning and how that is setting us up for the data that we'll be looking at the end of next month. So as you heard Mr. Endicott share that we're in the middle of, or just starting, I guess, winter assessments and winter benchmarks. And during that time, our teachers and students are spending a lot of time organizing and checking the progress of our students. And it's a very important time of year. And I think we're pretty darn excited to see what the outcome of our students are. The assessments are in reading and math, and they're standardized assessments, and they get and they put into the computer, and we get to analyze them as a district level, as a school level, as grade levels, and as classroom all the way down to individual students. And that data drives decisions that we make from this point forward. The data is used to look, is there an area that we haven't grown as much? Is there an area we're accelerating? Do we see something different between grade levels or classes or schools? And teachers have been working very, very hard this fall. Teachers, teacher leaders, principals, to ensure our kids are getting the best instruction. And so it's a little test for us as well when this comes out to see, is this making a difference? I want to share with you a little bit about the hard work that they've been doing and how that is connected with the assessments. So as you know, our focus this year has been around math and English language arts with a focus towards graduation. So most of our professional learning for our teachers has been focused around those things. So Mr. Endicott shared a few of our practices in his slideshow. So one of them, he talked about our 5 dimensions of teaching or instruction, which is our instructional framework. And we've met, every team, every school has an instructional team, and they're driving the focus on instruction in the building. And we've met one time this year. We're going to meet again at the end of January as a full district team. So there's like 45 of us that get together to talk about instruction. Makes me really happy when we get together to talk about that. In between those times, we also are going to each other's buildings. So a group of 3 or 4 buildings and their teacher leaders will gather together. We go into a building, we talk about the work they're doing. They share with us their data. They share with us their professional learning. We go into classrooms, we look at instruction, and we come back and talk about that. And are we seeing what they're working on? What ideas do we have? So it's to open up our practice and to be honest about the work we're doing and to continue to focus on that is making a difference in instruction. And I just want you to know how hard your leaders are working, your teacher leaders are working, and in every classroom, the teachers are doing their best to provide that instruction. So that's in 5D. We're doing something also similar in math, where we're bringing buildings together. We're going into classrooms. We're looking at math instruction. We're receiving more training around math habits, about how do we get kids to reason and think deeply about math, and what does it look like when that happens, and what moves are allowing that to happen. So we're doing that in every school. 4 times this year, we're getting together to look at instruction and to grow in the area of math. And similar in English language arts, we're digging into the Oregon framework on early literacy. We're understanding the difference between phonics and phonemic awareness and alphabetic principle, and how that matches up in our instruction, where it is in our programs, and what we need to do for students if they're struggling in those areas. So I could go very deep into that, but we're not even halfway through the year, and you can hear all the things that we're doing on top of every day ensuring that our kids are safe, that they're cared for, and they're receiving the best instruction. So I couldn't be more proud of the work that's happening across this district, the continued growth, the focus on wanting to do the best we can for our kids, and we're never done learning and getting better. So we're anxiously awaiting what this data looks like, and I can't wait to share it with you, and also share what we're going to do once we get that data and what our next steps are. So thank you.
Superintendent's report. Thank you, Chair Cotton. I appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity to share a few things with the board tonight. Do want to reiterate happy Board Appreciation Month. I hope that you feel and see on our hopefully our reader boards and in the community. Thank you, Mr. Vincent, for your kind comments tonight. I am always amazed at the amount of work our directors put in voluntarily to make our community a better place. And so thank you for the long nights, the conversations, the planning, and making sure we're keeping the safety of our kids and their ongoing growth and development, our North Star. I want to give you a few updates tonight. We have officially started the collective bargaining process. We met on the 8th, so Monday, with our licensed association. We had an all-day meeting with them. It was a very productive meeting. It was a positive meeting, and we're appreciative of all the work they do. And we did receive a proposal from them, and we can do some reviewing that tonight in the executive session. Our classified staff have been meeting. They met yesterday, I think again today. And we hope to receive that proposal as early as tomorrow in preparation for a January 16th meeting with them where they'll share their initial proposal with us. I'm going to give you an update on a quick update on the softball field. If you have not had a chance to go by to see this beautiful facility, it's really worth a trip to see. It is a remarkable space. And I want to, just before we get started, just personally thank our director of finance and operations. Which one do we do? Anyway, she does both. Cheryl Northam, and also is Tracy here? And maybe Tracy is not here, but just publicly thank Tracy Groff as well. Both these individuals have a lot to do. We have a lot of capital projects as we spend the rest of our ESSER money and don't leave any on the table with between fencing and vestibules and fixing things that are broken. And this particular project has required a tremendous amount of detailed and consistent attention. It's been complex, and if it was not for Cheryl and Tracy, we simply would not have met the timeline. Just so the board's aware, we did not hire a contractor to run this. Our contractor is Cheryl. She has overseen all aspects of this. She has directed Tracy to do some work, but really she has been the one that's kept us on track with this. And we're hoping to have a conciliation agreement signed off. We have requested February 20th for an in-person visit with the Department of Education, and we're hoping to get that signed off. It'll be a great space. There's lots to still get done there. There's some additional site work. There's some paving and concrete work. We have a scoreboard to put in, bleachers to put in. So there's things to do there, but we are on track to get there. It's going to be right to the end, and we'll get there. It's going to be a beautiful place. So thank you for your leadership with this, and it's going to be a great asset to our community. It was mentioned tonight about work sessions. I want to just talk briefly. Director Cotton and Chair Cotton and Vice Chair Johnson and I had a chance to get together recently. So I did want to let you know that we do have a couple of scheduled board work sessions coming up. Next meeting on the 24th, we have invited the Annalisa Nichols from the ESD superintendent to come visit with us in a work session about the services they provide and what our return on that investment is. And so that will be our work session planned for the 24th. The 21st, we will focus on some mid-year student assessments and progress updates. And the 24th of April, we are in the middle of a facilities planning process, and that process will involve the board on the 24th. A few more things here. As you know, we have this beautiful facility with softball, and we are working to make sure that complex is up to date and fresh and viable for decades and decades to come. And we are looking and in the process now of working with a few of our corporate sponsors to support that building, and that would involve the naming of the sports complex. We're in that process right now. I want to mention real quick a new opportunity, a potential opportunity for our RHS football program. We think about our why behind why we do athletics activities in school. One of those key reasons we do this is we want kids to have a great experience. We want them to have a meaningful experience they remember. And we want this with all of our sports. OSAA is the governing body that oversees the majority of our sports. We do have some that aren't overseen by OSAA. And each year they take a look at a variety of factors, win-loss and some other things, and they determine which schools have an opportunity to seek potentially a temporary new conference to be in. We are exploring that opportunity and what that would mean for our students. At this point, we don't know what that would look like. We don't know if we move this direction, what what conference we'd be in. We do have an opportunity to move to a 5A conference in football, and we are seeking that opportunity. Again, we have a lot of, you just basically put an interest in doing that. So we've moved forward on that, and we'll provide updates for the board as we hear from OSAA. I want to talk just about a couple of things with kids. We heard about some of these. We've got RHS kids that are doing great work. If you haven't been in to see what our FFA kids are doing at the high school, it's been fantastic. You heard tonight from Hannah about some of our middle school students. We've got Winchester kicking off a food drive in their community, and art students who are traveling up to Western Oregon. So lots of great things. This is a small highlight of things kids are doing. I do want to end with a little more serious topic tonight, and that's this: the last board meeting, a few board meetings ago, I talked about a trend in our school community, and I think our community at large that is both alarming and disappointing, and that is an increased incidence of racism that we're seeing. I think we're seeing this in our community. Unfortunately, we're seeing this in our school community. We have been, our leadership team has been reading, we like to do kind of a book each year that we can dig into. And we've actually been rereading this year, Brene Brown's book on Dare to Lead. And she has a statement in that book I've really grown to appreciate. And she says, and I quotes right here, that daring leaders who live into their values are never silent about hard things. So we heard at the last board meeting, a parent of a student who has been a victim of racism in our own schools. And this has been something that we are working on as a school district, trying to better understand. We have a leadership team meeting tomorrow where I'll be engaging our own leaders in terms of some ideas we have of what should we do, what can we do moving forward, and soliciting the best ideas. And I want to let the board know that as we do that, I know the board's shown an interest in this as well, of making this a priority. I want to put this out there that we just simply cannot be silent about the experience kids have. We can't adopt a strategic plan that says we'll care for all students, that all kids will be respected, and then not do something about this. And I appreciate the conversations I've had with board members about this. And I appreciate people leaning in to say, we're going to do something about this. And we're excited to blend this together and hopefully provide a venue in our community to have a conversation about that everybody in our community belongs. That's in our school community and our community at large. I will say this: we continue to have some isolated but frustrating conversations with some members of our community about this. And I'll just say again, we have continued to have incidents where there are racial incidents that are pretty profound for the person that receives these, where occasionally we still have parents who get upset when there's discipline involved. There's work to do in our school community, and I believe there's work to do in our homes in terms of better understanding the impact and, quite frankly, the impact, and also just how, quite frankly, how wrong it is to be part of something like that. So our school community, I'll say as the superintendent, I look forward to engaging our school communities in a path forward, and I appreciate the board and know your interest in this as well. And I'll just end with that, look forward to our work together in this area.
Very well said. A couple things I want to piggyback on. The ESD, the first part of the work session, is really important. We all have questions, and so we'll be getting some information, I believe, before.
I have requested that you receive information
Yeah.
before, yes.
And so when you get that, read through that, start asking questions, and we're going to put some question type things together that may fall through the cracks that some of us may not have thought about. This is a big deal. And I want us to be prepared. And I want us to ask those hard questions, because that's what we are expecting them to answer. So we'll see. Now, on the racism thing. it has to stop. It's just ridiculous. And Roseburg's been my home for, how old am I? Almost 67, 29. And it has to be, we got to get a handle on it. So we are very fortunate to have Director Johnson, who has taught and given really great presentations. And he's going to give the board his presentation at the 24th work session. And then we will move it further down and then into the schools. But I want you to take a couple minutes to just kind of let the board know what you're going to be covering at that work session for us.
I hope this works. Thank you, Chair Cotton. It will be an honor to put on a different set of glasses, looking at racism. Is my sincere intent after 60 years of doing this in various settings to have a positive outcome rather than a negative outcome. I have taken the approach, in what way can we solve a problem? It's not something that can be done individually. It has to be a team effort. I am pleased to give you the yeast that will help us grow a better solution to this problem. It will be an opportunity for me to share with you what some of you may have heard and not know. What a Black parent tells their kids when they're having a talk. I'll tell you what we tell them. Also, I was exposed to a gentleman in the 60s that developed the Chitlin test. And I'd like to give it to you, or excerpts of it. And then I would like to have an open discussion about some things, that how I see things and how you see things and how we can collectively see it better. Should be able to have a lot of input and a lot of dialogue, a lot of back and forth without any accusations or any disclaimers. This is something we can get done. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the opportunity to do it.
Okay, so now it's the time for individual directors' reports. So I'll start with Mr. Shirtcliffe.
I don't have anything for you tonight.
Director Meyer.
I'd just like to say I feel very appreciated on many fronts. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. But also we were gifted beautiful little gift from the Nutrition Service Department. And just want to say thank you.
I don't have any committee report or anything, but small suggestion. There's a lot of recent trauma with the college football alignment, so you might want to be a little ginger about that high school realignment subject. That's all I got.
Just appreciative of Sunny Slope and the principal Endicott for showing us around. One thing that really struck me in his report was the massive amount of fun stuff that's going on here. And for a moment there, I thought, okay, but we're here to, to really educate. And, it's a lot of fun stuff here. I'd love to participate in any of those if I were a kid. But that is the idea, is when he wrapped it up too with attendance. And if we can't get them here, we can't educate them. And so I just thought, I think that there is such a good place for what you're doing here, a lot of the fun things, because it is a draw to kids and it will make them want to be here. And I think it's a critical ingredient, like you're on our little card, it says, that we're a great ingredient in the mix of education for kids. I think that is a very important part. And I think you're doing a good job here. Really, I can see it. So thank you.
Well, I have a lot of friends that told me over the years, and actually just more recently, how they were going to take their kids out of public school because, you know, all the rotten things that are happening there and all the, you know, all the stuff that you hear on the news. And since I've been on the board and after talking to the different people, Dr. Weber, thank you for your work, you know, with the curriculum. And Yuri, is that your name? Thank you for acknowledging, acknowledging us at paying attention, and that Dr. Weber did get to talk to you about that and clarify some things that were happening. But I'm going to start telling my friends that they need to reconsider. I'm not against homeschooling, but after this tour of the school, and as we're walking around looking at the classrooms, I was looking at what was on the walls, and I'm going, this is really good stuff. They're not going to get that at homeschool. If half the stuff that was on that wall is being taught to those kids, we got something going here. And I'm not sure if we're just an isolated place here in Southern Oregon, but I'm really appreciating what I'm seeing. So, and excited to be on the board.
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing to report tonight.
I think the microphones had a rough New Year or something. They're just not behaving. I don't know. I'm not going to blame it on Matt because he's perfect over there. I have a couple things. It is School Board Recognition Month, and we appreciate that. We don't do this job to be recognized. We do this job because of the kids. But this lady on the other side of Superintendent Janet, who's well, now I got to make sure she's the school board administrative assistant boss. In other words, you can you imagine the amount of work she has to do for us 7 to all the scheduling and plus, I mean, it's a lot of work, and I don't think we always give her the credit that we should. And and Stephanie too. Hi, Stephanie. I already should. Oh, she's still on there. But it's a lot of work, and she's waving, and I really appreciate that, and I know the other members do too. We don't say that enough. And when it comes time for what's that, the day called when you have to buy them flowers, think about the dinner, do it really top notch.
We take good care.
Okay, we will too, but anyway, I once again want to thank Sunny Slope. So we've been to 4 buildings so far, and I've just really enjoyed it. They all have uniqueness to them, but they all have one main thing, and that's taking care of our kids. And I've known this is my 60th year with Roseburg Public Schools. I started first graders. You can count back. And my 30th year as a board member. We have a great district here. We have great schools here. And sometimes you just have to beat the pavement to these folks who think it's otherwise. It is crazy. You start reading things and you get emails sent to you and you think, what the heck? But we have wonderful leaders from the top all the way to the classroom. So I'm really appreciate everyone that's involved. Our next meeting will be our work session. It will be at district office. And it's going to be very impactful for us. So please come ready. After I adjourn this regular meeting, we are going to convene to an executive session ORS 1926602D, and it's to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. So at this time, if there's any further things, regular meetings adjourned. Thank you.